Welcome back to the Market Junkie YouTube channel. Today is September 30th, 2018. It's a Sunday. So what happened on Friday? Oh wait, before we begin the video, I want to remind you that anything that we say on this channel or on this video is not financial advice. I repeat, it is not financial advice, and you should always do your own due diligence. We are not financial advisors and are merely expressing our opinions. So the S&P is currently up quite nicely, the futures. They're up around 16 handles. Nasdaq's up around 0.70%. Friday we saw kind of a sell-off into the end of the day because a lot of folks were window dressing and selling into the end of the quarter. And it seems like, well, the quarter starts tomorrow, the fourth quarter, and it seems like people are getting right back in. Let's see what they chase tomorrow. You want to do a little TA on the SPX?
Yeah, sure thing.
Chat.
The SPX, as you see here, last week we did break out and we retraced back into here, back into the range that we broke out from. And if you know anything about technical analysis, when you have a range, like for example, like we have right here, when you break out of the range, generally what you're going to see is when price comes back into that range, it's going to see buyers because it already had enough buyers to break out initially. Then you know that once it comes back in that range, that buyers already own that zone. Therefore, it's always good risk reward to buy on the breakout and retest of the zone. And clearly, we have that here. I indicated two levels that I was watching for in one of our previous videos, 2905 and the 2897 mark, and we did dip into 2905 three times and held that very nicely, and we are bouncing off of that support very nicely. And in the longer horizon, I've been bullish the market, and my target is 3000. I haven't had any reason to go bearish on the market, so I'm still continuing to play the trend to the upside. And what you're seeing now is just another example of how we might see this play out. We're going to see, I believe, a very strong breakout tomorrow. And you're going to see a retest back into the range. And when it retests back into the range, that's when we're going to want to be entering those long positions.
Yeah, so it seems like it's going to be kind of choppy for a while. Like the market's really range bound. If we get a break of that 2941 or so on the S&P, which is the highs, I think we can see a nice leg up. And right now, currently, as we speak, they're doing that NAFTA deal, or trying to come to a deal. So Canada and USA is working on that. So we'll see how that ends up in the morning. But yeah, you want to look over that USD CAD while we're at it?
So the NAFTA deal, I think it's being priced into the CAD.
Yeah, it made that move.
I think they're going to come to a conclusion and come to a deal. But we had some crazy action with UCAD. Basically for NFP, it shot up, and then it quickly got slammed by sellers, and then it broke down and it gapped lower today too. So I am looking long term on USD CAD, just some bearish action. Because we have the Canadian dollar bulls in the market again. So, this is going to be continuing to, maybe if it retraces back up into there, like I said, with the same principle range breakout, you're going to want to look into potentially entering, a position there and following the trend until the trend is broken otherwise. So that's where I'm going to be looking at. That's the price point that I'm targeting on USD CAD to, see how the price action goes there. And from there, I'll make a decision. But that's what I'm targeting on USD CAD, maybe a retrace and then continuation of this bearish trend in the market.
All right, I'm going to flip it over on my screen really quickly. So I'm looking at MPC. I did join in on these November 85 calls. The stock was right up here a couple days ago. It went to around $86. Got the Novembers at around $1.80 something. They did dump it even more into the close, obviously, because of that whole quarter end shenanigans. But it looks like a decent spot here, so I, thought the risk reward is quite good. Oil's been ripping way higher. Do you want to pull up that oil chart on your screen? Hold up. Oh, whoops. Gotta switch it over. All right, yeah. We're on.
Yeah, so on oil, we had a very, very, very beautiful setup, very clean inverted head and shoulders pattern, and we did talk. I don't know if we talked about oil, but last week, I was anticipating a breakout of this, inverted head and shoulders pattern and continuation higher, and we did get that. We got a very clean breakout and a retest with some very nice candlestick patterns and a continuation higher and breaking out on oil. We are still in this channel, a bullish channel, and I am targeting the top of this channel, which would be around $80 a barrel.
That'd be crazy if
And
it got there. Just remember when oil was supposed to go to like $10 a couple of years ago? Everyone's talking, oh, going to 30, now 25, 20. World was supposed to end. And now look at this. We're the opposite.
Exactly. And another stock that I'm keeping my eye on is on Devon Energy. It's still fairly, it's not at the highs and it hasn't, made its move higher as oil has made its move higher, and it's in this very nice support at 39.42. So I'm going to be, looking to also follow the trend on this, and just my target is going to be, this 46 top of this range, and then eventually I think oil, if it does continue to charge higher, I'm going to be wanting to enter some very long-term positions and target, do a little swing trade on Devon, and maybe target this $56 price range, and that would be, if this breaks out of 50, it's going to run a lot higher, and we're going to need oil to be at like, oil may shoot up, and start impacting the markets. And I know Kevin has been thinking about that lately. So do you have any anything you want to talk about oil and the impacts of high oil prices on the economy?
Yeah, so I mean, higher oil prices you get, the higher the inflation. Obviously, that's going to eventually have a negative effect on the economy, especially since wage growth isn't, really stagnant. And the Federal Reserve has been saying, okay, yeah, unemployment is this. These are all like, I feel like they're manufactured numbers, don't you think? We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a take on oil. I mean, eventually it'll hurt the economy because people aren't really making more money nowadays. We haven't seen real wage growth for a while in this country. But I want to. You want to talk about Netflix?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna give a quick update on Netflix. So ever since we've been talking about it, we talked about it on September 17th, and I was bullish on this, and I still am bullish on this. As you see, I am targeting the 420 level, but short term, I'm targeting around the $400 level. Netflix does have earnings on October 16th. So what I'm doing, the way I'm approaching this is, I'm in some options that expire the week before their earnings. But basically, how I'm approaching this is, I think Netflix is gonna catch a bid going into earnings, because it is still relatively cheap, and it's not the highs that it once was. So prior to earnings, I would like Netflix to run up to around 400, and then from 400, that'll be a good price point for them to keep it at, because if they do beat earnings, then it's easy breakout over 420. And then if they don't, then they could, take it down back into 360, 370 and accumulate more. And that's basically what I'm targeting, the $400 level in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, Netflix is one of the better of the FANG names, Netflix and especially Amazon as well, because money's flowing out of Facebook because all the issues that they have. I feel like Facebook is almost like dead money at this point.
Mm-hmm,
and Google's pretty good, but like it's also,
yeah, there's better ones. Apple is going
Amazon,
chugging for 230 again, 235 again, and it's looking good. It held in our previous video. We said the 215 is a very important price, and we held that 3 times, and we did make a move higher. So expected continuation on trend continuation on Apple as well.
Yep, I do like Apple long term. I just want to update on my screen. I'm going to look at Edwards. Okay, so Edwards, I got out at like 3.70 on the calls. I got in at like 240. I do think the stock will keep going higher. Looking at the 180 level or so. But I thought it was a good place for me to take my profits. Because, obviously this thing has been going up. How many days in a row? Just look at this. Absolutely insane. And there are rumors circulating that who J&J might look at them and stuff, because analysts are putting that into people's brains. So who knows what'll happen, but I was happy to take my profits on that. Also with Lululemon, this got a nice fat upgrade by an analyst, 190 price target, and this stock just started ripping. I do think fundamentally it's pretty good long term, but obviously I'm just a trader right now and playing the options. Got out at around the same price at 3.70. So I'm just like, with options and stuff, you just move on to the next stock. You don't get married to the idea. You want to talk about Tesla a little? So this is quite interesting.
Really. Huh? I'm kidding.
What? Dude, they just dropped the news. How could we not talk about Tesla? $20 million fine to Musk, $20 million to Tesla. So the SEC, I feel like they just found an opportunity to get a nice revenue. I don't know how this is actually going to help the shareholders that got manipulated out of the price or out of the stock, when it ripped all the way to like 380. But I guess the SEC just wanted to make some money off this. And I feel like Elon got a good deal at the end of the day. But nothing really happened to him. He just has to step down for 3 years as a chair, but he still remains CEO. So the visionary is still behind the company.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but I think that, here, let me do some technical analysis, but I think that Tesla
usually holds, like around this level, and then you always see this thing. You get some bad news, right? And then rips back over 300 in a couple of weeks. I feel like
I know
Monday we might see that thing rip again.
I think we're going to see a dip into like, ideally, I'd like to see Tesla just keep on getting hammered and go into either like 175 so I can get in cheaply. But, as long as it holds $243, like it's a buy. So if it Tesla's just one of those, like, if you just look at this chart, man, like it's nice and bullish chart, but my God, this is ugly, and it's been struggling to make, its strides higher and higher ever since it's been in the $200 and above range. So I guess this is just one of those, just for me, it's a no trader. I don't ever trade this stock.
Yeah, especially the premiums are high. It's just really news driven. Yeah, I'm gonna flip over to my screen again, and we're gonna talk about HUYA. I recently got into this. It's really beaten down from this. I might even on the screen. Okay, I am. So yeah, it's really beaten down from this $50 level. It's just been, after its IPO, it ripped up. If you guys don't know, this is technically the Twitch of China. So yeah, it's really down here. I bought some calls for April at around $2.10, I want to say, for the April 2019. Looks like a decent risk reward spot. I feel like the options are quite cheap, especially if the flow starts coming back into these Chinese names, and if Trump and China get into a deal, you could really see these high flyers move. You have HUYA, you have IQ, you got Momo, and you got
JD. Like, look at JD, man. JD got hammered from it was like $50 stock.
But the thing is, JD got hammered because of the whole chairman issue, all the scandal and whatnot.
Yeah, but that was really fake. Like, that was fake news, bro.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't
know
that
about
big of a deal.
I haven't really looked into that, but ever since then, it's just been getting killed.
Yeah, but I do see a very nice, definitely buyers are showing up in the market. The last 3 weeks, it's been falling every week, but it's still holding right now. And I think that right now in the 25 or 26 price tag, that's a great price to get in on JD. And I think, easy target could be in the 37 range. Just retest of this, maybe by, what I'm thinking is maybe by like, November, maybe when the tariff talks and all that stuff starts, if up to, I mean, that is a pretty significant move, but if it can climb back up to like at least like $35 a share, then I think that'll present a good price point for people to, pivot their trades when the when China may or may not discuss trade deals with the United States after midterm elections. So
have you seen this? Talking about the Chinese tariffs and whatnot, have you seen Boeing? It just broke out last Friday. They didn't do anything all week. Friday, boom, zips up. So I feel like Boeing is ready for a nice breakout to the 380 level. They've been buying the calls for this week. They bought them on Friday. They just kept pushing them in. So let's see if it gets an early pop up in the morning and then just rips. Because not Baba, Boeing can easily move 2-3%. They're really
I'm all for that.
It. You want to pull
I
that
agree with Boeing,
chart up as well? Boeing.
Yep, simple flag, and it's gonna simply. This is the accumulation range. When we break out, your target's going to be at 443. If you're swing trading this, this is on the weekly. That's what you're going to expect that to be your target. I'm targeting I'm just probably going to be playing weeklies on this as it breaks out, and I'm just going to be taking the momentum higher and higher until that stops working. So I mean, this chart is just absolutely crazy. Like Boeing shot up like crazy. After like in 2016 September election, right? And then boom, just shot up. So continuation. Trump is still president. Things are still okay.
Effect, yeah. All right, let's talk about this last group of stocks: Activision, Take-Two, and EA. So as you guys may know, the new Call of Duty is coming out in a couple of weeks, and Activision, Take-Two, and EA are all catching some options action, especially this Take-Two Interactive. Really, really strong stock. Like, they're buying the 146s for November. I do think Take-Two is going to rip a lot higher, and Activision as well. I'm not so sure about EA. EA's actually been struggling a lot. I know you have some insight into EA, right? We have some disagreement there.
Yeah, I think EA is good to buy on a technical level. I mean, I'm just looking at it from like the industry, and like, EA stalled for 3 weeks straight with these candlestick patterns, like these little hammers, and then it's just broke out like crazy. And I think that it's a good accumulation range at the 100, above like the 110 level, and that's where right now I'm targeting around like 130, and they just had, what is it, FIFA 19, 2K9. Do they make 2K19? Are they the people who have, or is that Take-Two?
It's Take-Two.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, then all these games come. Battlefield, the new one came out. So I guess like I'm just playing the momentum in this industry, but playing a more beaten down name. Yeah. And as you see, they do have earnings on the week of October 29th. So, I'm going to be looking to also, now that I know that, to maybe buy some EA calls that are targeting like 135, maybe 140, and getting out before earnings and seeing if it'll run up. So that's how I'm going to be positioning myself in EA. I do like it buying at this price point.
And talking about Activision, some analysts are saying that the Battle Royale mode is going to be the Fortnite killer. I mean, I've been seeing Fortnite is kind of slowing down. At least for me, it is. I don't know about you. You recently picked it up, right?
Yeah, I recently picked it up.
Battle Royale mode should be quite interesting on this Call of Duty. So they're just jumping into the whole, they just FOMO'd on it, I guess.
Bandwagon, yeah.
And they might get some nice in-app purchases and whatnot and take some share from Fortnite. But we'll see. Beyond that.
Yeah, Fortnite just started a new season 6, and they're surprising me by adding a lot of stuff and just keeping the game fresh. And I don't know, I think they're doing a good job. I like their management. And
you know what Epic Games should do? They should drop a huge update on the same day Call of Duty gets released. Like just a huge, enormous one. Yeah. With that being said, we would like to conclude this video, and I just want to remind you that anything that we say on this video or this channel is not financial advice and should not be taken as financial advice. But make sure to share this video with your friends, like, comment, and until next time, peace.
See ya. Peace.